Hello and welcome to another episode of our Grimm's Fairy Tales coverage. It is Halloween, so this one will be short, sweet and very, very grim. It is absolutely chucking it down here, so you might hear the rain and it is actually thundering, so perfect. So today we'll be discussing two versions of the same tale entitled How Some Children Played at Slaughtering, which sets you up for the little stories that they are. So these were a set of two gruesome tales which were included in the first edition of the Children's and Household Tales, published by the Brothers Grimm in the year 1812. The tales were removed in the subsequent editions as one of their friends had overheard mothers complaining of the stories of children killing other children, and they wouldn't let their own children read it for fear that they would be influenced by it. Although they seem perfectly alright with every other aspect of the Grimm's fairy tales, and not just the Grimm's ones, the other ones are from other countries are exactly as horrific as those ones. This is around the Victorian era. Other tales at the time included a girl who played with matches and promptly burnt herself to death, a boy who goes outside in a raging storm and is carried off by the wind to his doom, and a boy whose thumb sucking results in his thumbs being cut off by giant scissors. So really they're complaining only about the fact that it's children killing rather than anything else killing the children. Now, Wilhelm Grimm defended the tales, saying that they were more a cautionary tale for children to not confuse their imaginary play with real life. But it must have been overturned as the tales were omitted from every further edition, and even in the modern editions that you can get now, they're rarely included. Version 1 is set in a real city of Franeker, which is located in the Netherlands, and it opens with a group of children playing, both boys and girls, aged 5 and 6, and they decided that one boy should play a butcher, and one a cook, and one a pig. And they decided that one of the girls should be the cook, one of the boys should be the butcher, and another of the girls should play the cook's assistant, with another of the boys playing the pig. The assistant was supposed to catch the blood from the pig in a little bowl, and they would subsequently make sausages from it. The butcher, as per their gameplay, chased the child who was the pig around and around until finally they caught them, threw them to the ground, and subsequently pulled out a little knife and cut their throat. And of course the assistant caught all the blood in the bowl as they were supposed to. A counsellor who was passing by at the time and witnessed the whole thing unfold, but didn't intervene for some reason, ran to pick the boy up, not the one who was bleeding out on the ground with his throat slit, and ran to the mayor of the city rather than the boy's parents, and the mayor immediately calls an emergency council meeting. And again, there's no mention of calling the parents at all. The councillors deliberated long and hard about what they should do, as they came to realise that it had only been a game to the children. They didn't differentiate between playing and real life. One of them ventured that the judge should put an apple in one hand and a guilder in the other, guilder being the currency in the Netherlands before the euro was introduced. The judge would then hold out both hands to the child, one having the apple and one having the coin, and see which one the child would pick. If the child was good and innocent, then the child would pick the red apple. If the child was corrupted and evil and guilty, he would pick the coin. Which sounds about as plausible as ducking women to see if they're witches or not, and if they drown then they're innocent, and if not they're burned because they're a witch. But the child laughed and went for the apple. It could have been just because he was hungry, it could have been because his family was well off anyway. But either way, the child was deemed innocent and no further punishment was to be subjected to him. Now the second version is much shorter and a lot more horrific. Figures. So the second version opens with a man slaughtering a pig while his group of children looked on, as was a way of teaching children how to slaughter pigs for use later in life. So when they started playing together, one child said to the other, "You be the little pig and I'll be the butcher," whereupon he took an open blade and thrust it into his brother's neck. It escalates quickly, does this one. Their mother, who was bathing their youngest child in a tub in the house, heard one of her children screaming and promptly ran outside to see what was going on. When she saw what had happened, she drew the knife out of the dying child's throat and, in a rage, plunged the knife right into the heart of her other child, who had been the butcher. She then rushed back into the house where she had left the youngest child in the bath. However, in the time that she had been gone, while she was taking the knife out of one child's throat and plunging it into another, the youngest child had drowned in said bath. The woman was so horrified at this that one of her children had killed another one, and then she had killed the other one, and then her neglect had let the other one drown in a bath, that she fell into a state of despair, couldn't be consoled by any of the servants, and hung herself from the rafters. Now, when the husband and the father of the children returned home after his workday and saw the utter devastation that met his gaze, he too became extremely distraught and died of a broken heart the next day. Happy Halloween, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time.